often asked, what made you want to become a pilot? Are you a pilot because your partner is a pilot? And are you doing this as a career? So let's dive into the story of how I became a private pilot and take you along my first flight as a licensed pilot, flying my first non-pilot passenger and best friend, Paige. Here's how I got here. Through ebbs and flows, circumstances taught me that this existence is both precious and fleeting. We're here to embrace pleasure, adventure, and excitement. When I was young, my dad would share stories of flying in Alaska with bush pilots. Those tales captivated me, sparking a desire to fly that I tucked away, unsure if it would ever happen in this lifetime, but always hoping it might be just around the corner. Finally, in October 2023, time, opportunity, and resources came together. I began my training with one of the most legendary female instructors in San Diego. Shout out to Kath. She typically only works with 5 students at a time, but I convinced her to take me on as her 6th. She agreed to teach me and preempted that getting a pilot's license takes about as long as having a baby, 9 months. Determined to get my wings, I said, challenge accepted. Pushing 2 to 3 flights a week and hours of study at home, I soloed on December 18th. That moment was surreal. Suddenly, I was alone in the plane with no one to save me but myself. That I got this feeling. It was one of those moments that captures the essence of life. It was more emotional than I expected, and if you're interested, you can check out my last video to see my solo day. January and February were dedicated to wrapping up the final requirements of my training and prepare for my check ride. Along the way, I earned the call sign Cowboy for my courage and skill handling crosswind takeoffs and landings. Finally, on March 18th, 2024, 5 months after I started, I took my check ride. Just 2 weeks prior, and I don't recommend this, I passed my written exam. In hindsight, I wish I had done it much earlier to avoid the extra stress, especially since many of my final practice flights were canceled due to winter weather. On the day of my check ride, I woke up early, tried to eat some breakfast, packed my snacks, and played my airport song on the drive to Montgomery Field, just as I had done every flight before. I repeated to myself, I've got this, I can do it myself. At 8 a.m. sharp, I met my DPE and we launched into a 3.5-hour oral examination. It was tough, but I knew the material. After a break around 11:30 a.m., I pre-flighted the airplane, my trusty 7.5 Foxtrot, and took off for the practical portion of the exam. Radio calls, maneuvers, contending with fast-moving thunderstorms and gale-force winds, dodging weather and avoiding all the planes evacuating the sky. 2.5 hours later, we landed, and I was awarded my private pilot certificate, once again earning my call sign Cowboy. Which brings us to today, my first official flight as a licensed pilot with a non-pilot passenger. This flight ranks as one of the most special I've conducted. Paige is my ride or die, and I so badly wanted to share this passion with her. Taking her up for the first time, just the 2 of us, was incredibly special. Shout out to Paige for her confidence in me. Flying makes me feel alive. I'm flying for fun, no aviation career aspirations, not flying because my partner does, just flying because I can, with gratitude and never taking for granted the opportunity, resources, and ability to do so. We're given this life to pursue pleasure, adventure, and connection. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to the Grand Cowboy Flight Adventure.